Are we filming? Yes, we are. So, mail time. I've cheated slightly because I'm doing this in the warmth of the studio because it's a bit cold downstairs. I normally do mail times in my kitchen, but I've just got it to the stage because it was well packed. I'll give the seller that. And so I also wanted to know what this one was, because I've got one or two other things coming similar size, and I wasn't sure, but I've just taken a peek, and this is the one that I have been waiting for. So without further ado, let us have a look. Okay, here it is. So, this is a bit of an oddball, and there is a story to tell. I don't know whether there are any. There's no morals here. There's no pack drill here. But this, I really wanted this, even though it was damaged, and even though the seller thought it was a clever idea to charge me £8 for postage when the actual postage was only £4.49. Some sellers do that. It's against eBay rules, but it is what it is, you know. The thing is, though, when a seller does that, as buyers, we have to give feedback traditionally, and we have scores in terms of communication, the cost of the packaging was reasonable. If you're a seller, why would you risk being marked down by charging excess postage like that? Why would you do that? And the reason why is because for some years now, the commission you pay as a seller includes the shipping. So I remember, I'm just going to go off track here, but years and years ago, people used to start an auction at a penny, or sell something as a penny as a bite now, and then charge £3, £4, £5 postage. And then what they would do is they would just get charged commission on the penny rather than the £3, £4, £5 postage. But that's all changed because the commission is charged on the total amount, including the shipping. So there is no advantage at all in inflating the shipping costs. So I don't know why sellers do it. It's very rare, but we have a seller who did this in this particular case. But hey ho. So what have we got here? This is a Danes and Hathaway binder. Now, I've spoken at some length about Danes and Hathaway in a previous video, but this was made in a town in the UK that has a history of leather making going back over 1,000 years. Maybe not 1,000, maybe 850 years. And lasted right up until maybe the 70s and 80s, really, potentially. And there are still a few companies, and if you look at the electoral roll of surnames in the area, you will still find many people with surnames that are associated with the leather trade, whose ancestors probably go back many generations, maybe hundreds of years. So I won't bang on about too much, but it is an interesting thing. Look up Danes and Hathaway, who are kind of no longer there because they've been bought out by another leather company elsewhere. But the reason I bought this, I want to talk about this because, as you can probably see, let me just show you here. There is some damage here. substantial damage to the ring mechanism. So basically it's been crushed and it's missing the release lever, one of these levers that we're all familiar with, where we press with our thumbs or fingers and it opens. This is probably why such a very, very rare and very, very desirable binder only got one bid, my bid. Had it been perfect, who knows how much this would have gone for, because, and I don't want to, it would be unfair to compare this with a mass market company like Filofax, but the bottom line is, let's ignore the damage for the moment, this damage. This binder probably represents the highest quality manufacturing here in the UK of any other binder I own, with the exception possibly of, is it there or is it somewhere else? Actually, no, I've got it in a drawer. I've got shelves full of binders and I've got drawers full of binders. So it's on a par with my Amiga. This is an A5 Agenda, and it was made, it's a very early one where the quality is simply sensational. Finest materials, finest English workmanship. Really, really good. I mean, it's just breathtaking in its quality. However, here we have a binder that represents one of the best examples of workmanship anyone would ever come across. And I paid 30 quid for it. Well, plus the rip-off £8 postage, so £38. But, at the end of the day, £38 is not a lot of money, really. How much would one of these cost with this level of quality if it was made today? I don't know. Several hundred pounds, I would suggest. Probably between £400 and £600. So why am I buying something that's clearly damaged? For two reasons. One is, it's a lovely thing. It is an absolute lovely thing. Secondly, I might convert it by removing the ring mechanism and replacing it with something else. Why would I do that? Because, drum roll please, it has two vertical pockets. One vertical pocket down here, one vertical pocket down here, which means, and I know what you're going to say, and you're right, if I remove this damaged ring mechanism, this would make a fantastic binder for a disc-based system. And I might just do that. And then I would end up with something so superb, so sensational that I would get excited just looking at it every day. No, not that exciting, but it is a thing of beauty. And also, as you know, I like binders that have had a bit of use, and this has had a lot of use. Who knows the history? I like binders that have a bit of mystery to them, but this is the very, very finest leather you will find being used to make a Filofax, a Filofax style of binder. So very, very good, very, very exceptional quality. But it's going to be a project. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but one thing I would say is, even if I decided not to use it as a conversion to a disc-based binder system, the thing is, look at this, right? So one-handed, the ring's open, fine. Now, I'm not going to criticise some binders that don't have Krauss rings, but I would say that there are some binders where the mechanism is of a lower grade. Shall we say that? A lower grade. And so you can't do that. But with a Krauss mechanism here, like this one, you can just open it with one thumb. So it means that even though there's severe damage here, so let me put it there, severe damage there, it is fully functional. Fully functional. So I suspect that this damage is why I was the only bidder. If this had been in good condition, I would say it might have gone for between £80 and £150 on eBay, depending on how many people were chomping at the bit to get their hands on it. But I'm I'm happy with it. You know, paying at £8 postage is neither here nor there. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what though. You never know what you might find. And I am one of these people who take it with a pinch of salt. I think the seller is lucky because if I had been outbid, someone else had bid on this. They might have bid for it and then not noticed the damage, because certainly the damage was in the photos, but the declaration from the seller was that this was in perfect functional condition, which is clearly wrong. And so if the buyer had changed their mind after opening the parcel and seeing the damage, the buyer would have been perfectly entitled to send that back for a full refund, which would have cost the seller not only the shipping and the commission. They don't get the commission back. So they don't get the PayPal commission back. They do get the eBay commission, but not the PayPal commission. And so it would have left the seller out of pocket. So I think the seller's quite lucky that I bought it and someone else didn't. But I'm looking forward to doing something with this, and I'll share that process with you. But very, very nice. I'm usually eulogizing now. This is supposed to be a mail time, and it's turned into something a little bit longer, 12-13 minutes. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Shall I leave it there? I'll leave it there. And until my next video, thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.